and deceitful. Your tossing and tugging spoils the whole web. Keep quiet 1 second, and I will set you free."
"Oh, thanks! Ever so many thanks!"
cried Maya. The spider was now right beside her. She examined the web carefully to see how securely Maya was entangled. "How about your sting?" she asked. Ugh, how mean and horrid she looked! Maya fairly shivered with disgust at the thought that she was going to touch her, but replied as pleasantly as she could.
"Don't trouble about my sting. I will draw it in, and nobody can hurt himself on it then."
"I should hope not," said the spider. "Now then, look out. Keep quiet. Too bad for my web." Maya remained still. Suddenly she felt herself being whirled round and round on the same spot, till she got dizzy and sick and had to close her eyes. But what was that? She opened her eyes quickly. Horrors! She was completely enmeshed in a fresh, sticky thread which the spider must have had with her.
"My God!" cried little Maya softly in a quivering voice.
That was all she said. Now she saw how tricky the spider had been. Now she was really caught beyond release. Now there was absolutely no chance of escape. She could no longer move any part of her body. The end was near. Her fury of anger was gone. There was only a great sadness in her heart.
"I didn't know there was such meanness and wickedness in the world," she thought. "The deep night of death is upon me. Good-by, dear bright sun. Good-by, my dear friend bees. Why did I leave you? A happy life to you. I must die."
The spider sat wary a little to one side. She was still afraid of Maya's sting. "Well," she jeered, "how are you feeling, little girl?" Maya was too proud to answer the false creature. She merely said, after a while when she felt she couldn't bear any more,
"Please kill me right away."
"Really?" said the spider, tying a few torn threads together. "Really, do you take me to be as big a dunce as yourself? You're going to die anyhow, if you're kept hanging long enough, and that's the time for me to suck the blood out of you, when you can't sting. Too bad, though, that you can't see how dreadfully you've damaged my lovely web. Then you'd realize that you deserve to die." She dropped down to the ground, laid the end of the newly spun thread about a stone, and pulled it in tight. Then she ran up again, caught hold of the thread by which little enmeshed Maya hung, and dragged her captive along. "You're going into the shade, my dear," she said, "so that you shall not dry up out here in the sunshine. Besides, hanging here, you're like a scarecrow. You'll frighten away other nice little mortals who don't watch where they're going. And sometimes the sparrows come and rob my web. To let you know with whom you're dealing, my name is Thekla, of the family of cross spiders. You needn't tell me your name. It makes no difference. You're a fat bit, and you'll taste just as tender and juicy by any name." So little Maya hung in the shade of the blackberry vine, close to the ground, completely at the mercy of the cruel spider, who intended her to die by slow starvation. Hanging with her little head downward, a fearful position to be in, she soon felt she would not last many more minutes. She whimpered softly, and her cries for help grew feebler and feebler. Who was there to hear? Her folk at home knew nothing of this catastrophe, so they couldn't come hurrying to her rescue. Suddenly, down in the grass, she heard someone growling. "Make way! I'm coming!" Maya's agonized heart began to beat stormily. She recognized the voice of Bobby the dung beetle.
"Bobby!" she called as loud as she could. "Bobby, dear Bobby!"
Make way. I'm coming."
"But I'm not in your way, Bobby," cried Maya. "Oh dear, I'm hanging over your head. The spider has caught me."
"Who are you?" asked Bobby. "So many people know me. You know they do, don't you?"
"I'm a Maya, Maya the bee. Oh, please, please help me."
"Maya, Maya. Ah, now I remember. You made my acquaintance several weeks ago. The deuce! You are in a bad way, if I must say so myself. You certainly do need my help. As I happen to have a few moments' time, I won't refuse."
"Oh, Bobby, can you tear these threads?"
"Tear those threads? Do you mean to insult me?" Bobby slapped the muscles of his arm. "Look, little girl, hard as steel. No match for that in strength. I can do more than smash a few cobwebs. You'll see something that'll make you open your eyes." Bobby crawled up on the leaf, caught hold of the thread by which Maya was hanging, clung to it, then let go of the leaf. The thread broke and they both fell to the ground. "That's only the beginning," said Bobby. "But Maya, you're trembling. My dear child, you poor little girl, how pale you are. Now who would be so afraid of death? You must look death calmly in the face as I do. So, I'll unwrap you now." Maya could not utter a syllable. Bright tears of joy ran down her cheeks. She was to be free again, fly again in the sunshine wherever she wished. She was to live. But then she saw the spider coming down the blackberry vine.
"Bobby," she screamed, "the spider's coming."
Bobby went on unperturbed, merely laughing to himself. He really was an extraordinarily strong insect. "She'll think twice before she comes nearer," he said. But there, the vile voice rasped above them.
"Robbers! Help! I'm being robbed! You fat lump! What are you doing with my prey?"
"Don't excite yourself, madam," said Bobby. "I have a right, haven't I, to talk to my friend? If you say another word to displease me, I'll tear your whole web to shreds. Well, why so silent all of a sudden?"
"I am defeated," said the spider.
"That has nothing to do with the case," observed Bobby. "Now you'd better be getting away from here." The spider cast a look at Bobby full of hate and venom. But glancing up at her web, she reconsidered, and turned away slowly, furious, scolding and growling under her breath. Fangs and stings were of no avail. They wouldn't even leave a mark on armor such as Bobby wore. With violent denunciations against the injustice in the world, the spider hid herself away inside a withered leaf, from which she could spy out and watch over her web. Meanwhile, Bobby finished the unwrapping of Maya. He tore the network and released her legs and wings. The rest she could do herself. She preened herself happily, but she had to go slow because she was still weak from fright. "You must forget what you have been through," said Bobby. "Then you'll stop trembling. Now, see if you can fly. Try." Maya lifted herself with a little buzz. Her wings worked splendidly, and to her intense joy, she felt that no part of her body had been injured. She flew slowly up to the jasmine flowers, drank avidly of their abundant scented honey juice, and returned to Bobby, who had left the blackberry vines and was sitting in the grass.
"I thank you with my whole heart and soul,"
said Maya, deeply moved and happy in her regained freedom. Thanks are in place, observed Bobby, but that's the way I always am, always doing something for other people. Now fly away. I'd advise you to lay your head on your pillow early tonight. Have you far to go?
No, said Maya, only a short way. I live at the edge of the beech woods. Goodbye, Bobby. I'll never forget you, never, never, as long as I live. Goodbye.